All right, you guys. You know what time it is?
Is it time for
something serious?
Serious.
So this is actually going to kind of roll back to our news of the week. So if you didn't watch that, click on the news of the week. Watch that before this because it's got a lot of really good stuff in it.
Part 1.
But so our something serious, you guys, is I want to know how we all feel about gaming becoming more mainstream. And the reason I said that kind of goes back to the news is obviously like Borderlands, we're getting movies, Shinobi, even kind of a like I don't want to say an underground, but even like a less known video game is now coming to a movie. So that's just showing like where we've gone with gaming. Warcraft, the movie, like they're hitting hard. Obviously, we're seeing a lot of that success with the Marvel movies, now the DC movies, everything like that coming out. Even
everybody wants to take a piece of that pie.
But how do you guys feel about like that shift from like 5-10 years ago gaming? You were like a subculture. You were definitely looked at as a nerd. You were a gamer. It was like its own thing. But now everybody plays games. It's a very, you walk into any store and they're probably selling a video game. They're selling.
You walk into a JCPenney and they're selling video game based shirts.
Exactly. Yep. So it's obviously much more mainstream. Like, what are your feelings on that? Is it good? Is it bad? Like, where do we land on it?
I think it all really just depends on exactly what we're talking about at that exact moment as far as the gaming genre is concerned. Mm-hmm. Certain games I think absolutely should go as mainstream as possible. I like the idea of game movies if they can be made well. I like the idea of what Zach was talking off camera, or not off camera, but earlier about the thing the direction they're going to go with Shinobi. I really think it's kind of an interesting idea. Don't know if I'm sold on the whole Michael Cera thing, but I think it's great. I want to see what we have loved our entire lives become more mainstream for a lot more people. Because back in the day, as you said, 5-10 years ago, it'd be like, oh, I'm a gamer. Oh, you game.
Yeah, it was like it was a very you were like a subgroup. You were
exactly. And I like that it's going a little mainstream. And even myself, when I was in the Army and I was like 21, 22 years old, I didn't really share that I was a gamer with people because back then you'd be like, oh, I video game all the time. Oh, you're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking geek. And it's just not like that anymore, and I think that's great.
I know you you're a big Dark Souls fan, and that's one that kind of hit that stride too. Like obviously, Demon Souls was very under the radar, had a big cult following, but like it wasn't really like a mainstream game. Now with like Dark Souls 3, like that game is so big, everyone's talking about it. It's on TV, it's on everything. So like, what are your feelings on that? Like Dark Souls blowing up.
I'm excited about it, but I mean, it puts stuff into a lot of different perspective because like the first one, Demon Souls, it wasn't portrayed well or in good light for a lot of people. Correct. It was just for a hardcore audience. Yep. Dark Souls came out, that was universally a little bit more understandable than all the technical stuff. And then Dark Souls 2 came out. That blew the hell up like really quick. Dark Souls 3 is like one of their best portrayed, best selling that they've already come out and said. So I like that these games, how difficult they are starting to become mainstream to some extent because it gives way to a lot of new players out there too. Like you had somebody that maybe just bought the Call of Duties like all year round or all the Rockstar games or Grand Theft Auto. And it's like now they're getting into a game that's a little bit different. It's got a fantasy feel to it. I like that people are getting introduced to it more, and it also brings different kinds of people into it too, like because now we have more girls that are involved in some kind of games. Now we've got kids that are actually beating harder games than what they used to do like way back then. So I like that. It shows a different mental structure.
It gives
to everybody.
That same like feeling is like back in the day when you beat Mario and you couldn't save and like you stayed up all night and you grinded out with like your buddies for like 16 hours and like you finally beat the game. Obviously it's a very different play style and stuff like that, but for a while, like you were saying, people were just picking up the Call of Duties, the sports games, the Rockstars, the games that if you want you can pretty much just walk through, or you're playing online. It wasn't, but like to have that sense of accomplishment when you're done with something, to be like, that game was incredibly hard. It took me hours of my life. I was so dedicated to it. I think it's kind of like you said, for those younger audience or those people just getting into like the deeper gaming, it's really cool that they get to experience that in kind of a whole new light that we've maybe never seen before.
I like it too because it also gives the opportunity for people to start making like a wish list. Like Josh was kind of talking about the other day, like when he's looking out for his Hyperlight Drifter. Yeah. And it's like, I'm excited for that. Other people now are getting excited about that because there's other mainstreams they can plug that into. Dark Souls. Yep. It's like, that looks like a Dark Souls game. I like Dark Souls. I'm familiar with Hyperlight Drifter. And it's like now there's just, before there used to just be a cognizant river where everybody just jumped in. They're like FPS or this. FPS or this. And it's now it's like Dark Souls. Now there's all these other things and venues and avenues. Now there's all this or this. And it's like, I like that approach. I like a bigger menu for this kind of stuff.
I think that's also a lot of the reason that indie games are getting bigger as well, because you can relate them to something else you've played now. Although they might be different, they might have their own spin. But like you were saying beforehand, it was like you had your first-person shooters, your RPGs, and like your MMOs or something.
I feel like new players too can pick up indie games better
100%.
than AAA titles because like there's less. There's less cash there to buy and enjoy. There's less risk. Sure, it's download only, but it's like it was only $14.
Right.
Like,
there's also an easier. The majority of them are easier to play, and that's a great entrance.
They're understandable.
Understandable is a better way.
Fun.
Yeah.
They're
You don't
good.
have to drive to a store to get one.
No, you don't.
Exactly.
Absolutely. You can just be like, oh, what's good? And then like even now it's like you don't even have to say anything. It's like, did you see that game everybody's tweeting about? Or did you see that game that everybody's playing on Twitch or Twitter or you know, Periscope or whatever people are on these days?
Yep.
And it's just like it's so easy now to like put a game out there and have like a good fun audience with it. And being interactive too with people, I like that a lot. Like I keep saying like one of my biggest social experiences is from Instagram because I like to collect certain copies of video games and I'll go all out for them. And it's like, I shoot people comments all the time. Like, that's awesome. I like that. Oh, you have all the collection. You're missing this one piece. And it's like, I'll be nice and link them to it. So it's like, hey, you have a great collection, but you're missing this. And it's just like, I like that conversation I can have with more people now around the world than just like the people I went to school with.
So is there any negative effects to you think it becoming more popular?
I was waiting for you.
I
know you're over here one eyebrow like...
All right, so let's hear it. Like, what do you feel about it? What's the negative effects to it?
I'm glad you have a different stance on this.
It's like underground only.
People are fucking sheep. They will go where the money is, and they always will. And so, as gamers, as people here, by the way, first off, I'd like to point out that it's better to be a pig than to be a sheep.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, shout out to your community. But
boom.
That being said, is as gaming becomes more mainstream, you're going to start getting these people. The only reason they're gaming is because it's popular culture.
Yeah.
It's because it's popular. It's because that's where the money is. You have these people who are trying to be YouTube stars. They don't give a shit or have a passion about the game that they're playing. They don't have. I'm not gonna rock in my via the camera, but they
beautiful.
But they they don't have the same passion that you or I do or we have about gaming. They just get on it because it's popular and they can make money, and that's the same thing with these big businesses are getting into game reviews and gaming. It's not because they have a passion about gaming. It's because if there's Forbes magazine is all about money and business and they put out a gaming review and 100 people flock to it and see their ads, they make money. And it has nothing to do about the game they review. There's no, and that's the kind of the source of where AAA, as more and more people are flooding into this business. AAA titles are getting worse and worse and worse because they're just feeding this cookie cutter story, this cookie cutter character, this cookie cutter gameplay to these masses of people who will just gobble this shit up because they have no passion. It's just like how pop music is. It's because it's basic.
Whoa! Justin Timberlake's "I'm Bringing Sexy Back."
No, not even.
Is really good.
He's making a pretty good point here.
It's that music though that like you put on your car. It's poppy. It's fun to like sing to, but there's no substance.
There's no substance.
Yep.
There's no passion. It's not
Taylor Swift.
But
it's
I feel
not
like,
6 guys working in a studio making one cut onto a record.
But I feel like the players, like, oh god, I just sound like I made our own slogan. I feel like people and players in general, like, can figure that out. Like, I don't think I've ever seen like a game that was shit blow up. And it's like for that reason, like Stardew Valley, Axiom Verge, Hyper Light Drifter is going to blow the fuck up.
You're after these good small games. I'm talking about these big games. Look at the Call of Duties. We just had this argument about Call of Duty.
But that's a tradition.
Call of Duty looks like Halo. No, it
doesn't.
doesn't.
That's a tradition, though.
But look at the biggest first-person shooters out there. They all fucking look like each other because they're all the same game fundamentally.
I get what you're saying.
People buy the same game fundamentally.
Because
they don't want
like
different.
Categories, though.
Real gamers, we had to take risks. We grew up taking risks. We had these consoles.
We grew up playing some shitty games.
We had shitty games. We had like the Sega Saturn. Oh, this is gonna be the biggest fucking thing ever. Bombed. We had the Wii. Oh, this is gonna be pretty legit. Bombed. And so
the
now,
Wii did fantastic.
The Wii did too fucking good.
So good. That was Nintendo's
the Wii U you could plug in.
No, but I get your point, and I'm gonna like agree half on your point, and I'm gonna agree half on Zach's point. I don't think it's the people.
Don't agree with me.
I don't think it's the people that are the problem. I think that us growing is good. I think that more people being invited into the thing is good. The real issue, though, is what you were saying, is the money. So obviously, as this industry grows and it's worth more money, you're gonna start getting like these big multi-billion-dollar conglomerates who don't care about gaming. They just want the dollars. They're gonna buy out companies like what's currently happening to Ubisoft,
right?
Where this big conglomerate who has nothing to do with gaming
Vivendi
is
doesn't
literally
give a
gonna
shit.
come in and start
Yeah,
buying
that's some
stuff away
bullshit.
But okay,
just
so
to make money.
It is the big companies too.
Yeah.
But you say it's not the people, and I disagree. I was before this podcast, I was literally at a bar having a conversation with 3 or 4 people about video games, and there was one person who's like, "I play Skyrim," and I made like a Stormcloak joke, and they didn't fucking get it. Like I put like 100 hours into Skyrim. Like you don't see the point in the game. I'm like, she's like, I just stab people and steal stuff. Like that's fine. And like I tried to get my girlfriend into gaming. She played 2 games, Minecraft and Skyrim. And Skyrim, she was like, I don't see the fucking point in this. And Minecraft, she's like, I don't see the fucking point in this. But the only reason she wanted to play it was to fit in. And that's all these people. Like a lot of these people just want to play these games to fit in. And those are not the people I want to surround myself. The people who call themselves gamer, but they don't fucking game. And that drives me
Like
nuts.
the gamer chick, like gamer girls?
Like gamer girls.
Oh my God, I love video games so much. Look at my boobs.
But that's stereotypical too.
Regardless of that's the thing that pisses me off
But
too,
it's
because it gives
real.
real gaming girls an
real.
awful image and an awful
I get
name.
that it's real, but the ones that make it big are the ones that are usually invested. Don't get me wrong, the thing is flooded. The market is absolutely flooded and is way too much in that category. I completely
100%.
agree.
When we're
But
talking about people who put their face out, I'm talking about the people who don't put their face out there. The people who want to say that they're gamers, they don't game, they don't share the same
But it's
passion
just a
as
common word now. It's common tongue. Like, I'm a gamer. What do you play?
What he's saying is
I
it shouldn't be.
Us?
I play Candy Crush. And it's like,
But
okay.
see, we were just talking about that though. But that also makes gaming more inviting for those people who like are maybe younger audience who are getting into gaming. Back in the day, like James was saying, when he was in the army, he didn't want to come out and basically say like I'm a gamer because there was a big group of people who were going to be like, oh well, you suck.
There's
You're
a
a
silver
nerd.
lining to
We don't-
all of it.
And that's what I'm saying is like there's pros and cons to it becoming popular. So I really want to hear what you guys like to say. Do you guys think it's more good? Do you think it's more bad? What are your worries about it getting bigger? Should it stay like right where it's at? Everyone keeps saying we're in the golden age of gaming. I don't think we've hit it yet.
No, we're close,
I
though.
think we have a little bit more growth.
We can
and
see it from here.
just a bit. I don't want it to get too big because I don't want those conglomerates to come in and just buy it out and just cookie cut it.
Yeah, because what was that company? Like that company has nothing.
Vivendi.
They have no foundation in gaming though.
Not
They're
at
just
all.
like, that's a lot of money. I want
Multimedia.
it. Yeah, and
you're
that's
exactly
it.
right. I think
But
Piers,
it's
when they
like-
first brought them up, that French
But
people.
Yeah.
if we get a little bit bigger than those indie developers who are right now, like we've been talking about a while, they're making gold. Give them a little bit more money, give them a little bit more freedom, a little bit more power, and let's see them grow and let's see them make those AAA titles.
To that idea.
That's when we'll hit the
But it
golden
wouldn't be.
age.
But it wouldn't
Yes.
be AAA anymore because you have to realize what AAA hits, right? If you're an indie studio, you're not going to make that shit anymore.
You're not.
Period.
Yeah.
You're still going to stick to your same platform because one guy can make a game and make millions.
Let them
10
push
people
out-
can make a game and make millions.
Let
There's
them push
no
those
point
people
in
out.
making a big
But
executive building.
To kind of pull on his point to kind of almost make my point is if we start seeing all these, we've already see the trend in it. It's already happened. A couple indie developers make it big. Now the market's flooded with them, and then we get games like Shower with Your Dad Simulator.
that was
And
really good.
no, it wasn't.
But
I'm just
the
kidding.
whole
Watch a
point,
review.
the whole point of indie games is to like you're gonna get a whole lot of crap. You're gonna find those gems, and when you do, they're
Yes.
gold. They're
Yes,
just
they are.
absolutely
But
brilliant.
like I said, there's the silver lining to all this argument, but what we're talking about, what you guys are having this big deal, like, oh, it's great, is to me, in my mind, it's just this small dividend of this greater mound of just shit.
We literally see the point you're making, and
know.
Brandon
Yeah.
even partly agrees with you. I even partly agree with you.
We
get your point,
It's-
100%.
But to me, it's scary because it's not stopping. Gaming's growing. Gaming's getting bigger and bigger.
Right,
and bigger.
but what Brandon is saying now is these people who are making these gem indie games, they're going to get bigger. They're going to become more popular. People are going to know
They're
who they
gonna
are,
make
and
those
they
millions
are
of
going to make
dollars.
the
Make
new
the millions.
AAA titles
That's what
in the
I want.
future.
And there is a point, and we've seen it before with gaming, where it got too big, and basically the entire industry collapsed in on itself.
Yep.
It's already happened before with gaming, and it took it a long time to get out of that
Mid-2000s.
hole. And no, this was like years ago. Even before that, it was
long
like
ass time ago. 70s,
yeah, like
80s.
like late 70s.
This is
early-
Atari's foundation when the
And-
collapse happened.
Yeah, literally the video
Oh, I was
game industry
okay, I was thinking something else.
almost literally died. Like video gaming was almost like no longer.
That's
a thing.
why Atari buried all their ET cartridges out in that
Yep.
dump in New Mexico.
Yep.
So we've
is because they had to be able to say fuck it, like we need to be able to dump this and never
Yep.
come back to it.
So
and
I
gaming
mean,
went under for a
it's
while.
possible it could happen, and I mean we've seen that trend. And if it keeps going too big, and we keep putting out crap, we keep getting that cookie cutter stuff, the video game industry will collapse on itself. It will happen. We've seen it before. So what we need to learn from this trend is like vote with your wallet. buy the stuff that you like, support the companies you love that put out good games. You know, like for me, I will buy every Pokemon game that comes out because I love it. I will buy the Elder Scrolls. Bethesda puts out a game, I'm going to support
BioWare
it.
for me.
That's the way it is. Like you support with your wallet. You support the companies you know that are going to put out gems. That's why I'm so big about buying those indie games. I want to buy them. I want to support those guys. Those guys who put out those gems earn the money. Vote with your wallet, and that's what's going to keep the video industry alive. That's what's going to keep it growing in the right direction.
Also, share your passion.
Yes.
Share your passion. Share your love for video games. Help other people see what you see.
Be proud of who you are.
Yes.
That's
Absolutely.
why we do this podcast. We want everybody to feel welcome in video gaming.
Absolutely.
We want them to feel loved.
Never change the fact that you're a gamer to anyone.
No.
Anything that you do and anything in your life, be proud of it. Have your own passion and share it with people. Let people see what you see through your eyes, and then maybe they'll see the same passions.
Get excited. Leave a comment below on how big the video game industry should get.
And to all you real gaming girls out there, I fucking love you.